Assalamualaikum and good morning to Madam. Let us introduce ourselves.
We are from 1 to F and my name is Nur Balqis.
Nur Sofea Natasya, Binti Mazlan.
Nur Sabirah, Binti Mohd Asri.
We will talk about Malaysian culture, which are
Malay,
Chinese and Indian. So, enjoy the video. Guys, look! So beautiful culture. Do you still remember what we have learned last week?
Yes, I remember that I have learned about Malay culture.
Oh, I also remember that we learned about that.
Wow, Sab, can you tell me more about Malaysia culture? Because I'm afraid if I miss something.
Okay, Malaysia is a multicultural society. The main ethnic are the native Malays as well as large populations of Chinese and Indians. So, I am convinced that Malaysia is clear that the ethnicities retain their religions, customs, and way of life. The native Malays as well as are the main ethnic groups. One of the interesting about Malay you should know are the traditional customs. Pakaian is the word for clothing in the official language. The traditional dress is different for males and females and it is usually in bright and loud colors. In Malay culture, clothes or textiles are reversed a symbol of beauty, power and status. So, for men, the traditional attire of Malay men is called baju Melayu, which is a loose tunic pair with trousers and sarung, and a sarung which is known as samping. As you know, the upper part of the garment was made with the geometrical design almost similar to baju kurung and commonly pair with woven clothes known as the sarung. Men also wear the traditional hat called songkok or kopiah with it. Some men prefer wearing batik t-shirt with trousers. For women also, the word baju kurung literally defined as encased the body of the wearer is tailored based on the Islamic principle of modesty, decency and humility. The ancient traditional dress for Malay women was kemban, which includes sarung tied above the chest. The current traditional dress for women is baju kurung, which comprises of a knee-length, full-sleeve blouse and long skirt called kain. The skirt plaited one by side. On one side, the attire is usually accompanied by a scarf on the head. A semi-formal version is the kebaya, which is a skin fit two-pieces custom. So, Nazira, can you tell us about what culture you have learned back then?
Of course, I can tell both of you about what I have learned. Actually, did you guys realize that the trade between Malaysia and India is quite smooth because of which Malaysian Indians get a fair share of traditional clothes from their country. Thus, the Indian in Malaysia have stuck to their roots in terms of traditional dresses. One of the most famous Indian clothes is sari. Sari is a 4 or 5 meter long cloth and its texture is from ordinary cotton to silk, mostly thin and soft. With the change of climate and season, sari needs to be worn with different material such as pure silk, cotton cloth or gold seed lace. And in recent years, also appear one material which is similar to nylon or synthetic fabrics. Sari is the combination of three parts. The top part is called jimpoli, which is a tight sleeve bodice, and the lower part is called bejijur, a petticoat. Is a loose dress that is inside a sari and wrap it in the outermost in the sari. People often can distinguish different identities through different sari. And I have something to suggest to both of you. You can wear a bright green or orange blouse with a white sari. It is because the contrast of the bright shade will match wonderfully with the pale white sari. You can try this color blocking styling with other combination like pink and green, grey and yellow, red and white, and many more. That is for women. As for men, they mostly wear very loose fitting shirts called kurta with a bottom called dhoti. A traditional kurta is collarless and falls to about the knee of the wearer. The sleeves are loose and kurta is simply constructed with two rectangular pieces of fabric. One is for the front and one is for the back. They usually open it the front with a button or tie closure in the middle of the garment or just off one side. Some style feature buttons or closure of the shoulder seam instead of down the center. A dhoti usually comes in white or cream color. It resembles trouser but is made of unsewn fabric. It is actually adorned by wrapping it around the waist and legs and then securing it with a knot on the waist. To wear a dhoti, a person must first wrap the clothes around the waist in the middle of its length. Instead of holding the clothes at the corner of each end, a person then hold the section on each side that are more inward and closer to the waist. The rest of the clothes can be allowed to then fall to the ground. I think that's all I can share to you guys about Indian clothes. Sophia, what about your views on Chinese culture? Can you tell me about it?
What I was trying to say is, I learned about Chinese culture. Most of the people from the Chinese community resident in Malaysia don't dress traditionally. They prefer to dress casually. However, during festival, especially the Chinese New Year, they are sported in traditional outfit. Chinese men in Malaysia wear their traditional dress called a tang suit. A tango suit is a type of jacket that has a collar and a knot at the belly and is mostly floral. It has been named after the Tang Empire by overseas China people. The name was suggested because the Tang Empire was so powerful the foreigners called China Tang people. However, China women in Malaysia wear chongsang, meaning long dress. During festival and formal event, chongsang, also called kimpao, is a silk one-piece dress with a collar and clasp at the waist, each in the center or on the side. Older women dress in sangfu, which is a type of ankle-leg pant with a loosely fitted top with clasp at the center. Other popular traditional outfit worn by China women in Malaysia is hangfu, which is combination of a loose blouse, a long skirt, and a belly size. Oh guys, let's move on. Can we talk more about traditional dance in Malaysia? Because I think I'm in love with it. I want to know more about this. So Ira, can you tell us about India dance because I love to learn about it.
I do agree with your point that you are in love with Indian dance culture because I also love it. I think it's because Indian classical dance is not merely about expressing oneself but is steeped with tradition and it represents a culture. One of the dance that I know is Bharatanatyam. Bharatanatyam is one of the most popular dance forms within the classical dance genre and is practiced by the world over by both male and female dancers. There are certain meaning of the name of the dance. Ba, which is Baya, it means expression. Raga, it means by music. Tala, it means rhythm. Bharatanatyam is well known because of its grace, purity, tenderness, and sculptures. It's now one of the most popular dance performances. Its unique style is being practiced all over the world. Some ancient sculptures in Hindu temples are based on Bharatanatyam dance posture karanas. Bharatanatyam is considered to be a fire dance, the mystic manifestation of the metaphysical element of fire in the human body. It is one of the 5 major styles that include Odissi, which is element of water, Kuchipudi, which is element of earth, Mohiniyattam, element of air, and Kathakali, which is element of sky or ether. Bharatanatyam dancers are said to resemble the movement of a dancing flame. Bharatanatyam proper is a solo dance with the 2 aspects. Lasha, the graceful feminine lines and movement, and Tandaya, the masculine aspect. In most solo performances, Bharatanatyam involves many split characters that are depicted by the dancer. However, in more modern times, group performance involving dramatic routine that require many characters depicted by various dancers have become common. In addition, these dance performances include numerous transitions and formations that are creatively choreographed to enhance the movement along the music. Bharatanatyam dancers wear intricate sari, heavy makeup, and beautiful headpieces. Ornaments of shining stones adorn their neck, ears, and hands, with jasmine garland often seen in their hair, along with ankle with small bells. This is my point of view about Indian dance. What about you, Sabirah? What do you feel about Malay dance? Can you tell us?
I was too proud about Malay dance. You know why? Because Malay dance or tarian in Malay is a term that represents a variety of culture, folk, court, ritual, stage dance of the Malay archipelago. Traditional Malay dance in Malaysia can be classified into 3 primary categories. First, court dance. Second, folk dance of the West Malaysia and East Malaysia are widely practiced in Malaysia. Court dance starts as entertainment for the royal households of Malaysia. The style is very graceful and the movements are slow, sustained and controlled. More of the court dance begin in a seat position that slowly to a kneeling or standing position. Such dance used to be performed for the public in many places. As for folk dance, these dances are always associated with joyous occasion for the community. Folk dance is popular also, but the origins are unclear. Most of the dance use handheld props that are easily recognizable. Some of these dances can be traced to animistic belief and ritual. It is true. These dances are simply but yet beautiful. This style appears to be without tension or muscular action and very relaxed. The dance movement often depicts nature, life in jungle, movement of birds and others. The major difference of folk dance in East and West are the dancer, musician, and musical instrument. Dances customs are very ornate and often with an elaborate hijab and other accessories in the East. Primarily four-string elongated guitar for the Sarawakian dance and kulin tantan for the Sabahan dance. These instruments are mostly handmade and very aesthetic. There are many Malay dances, especially joget, silat, and dikir barat are some examples. First, joget, also known as ronggeng, was introduced to Malays in Malacca. The joget has been known as a quiet, famous dance throughout Malaysia, Sumatra, Borneo, and the Riau archipelago. It redeems a catchy beat and cheerful combination of both hand and leg moving at a fast pace. A portion of the Malay archipelago, the joget was known as the rentak lagu, dua meaning interaction between couples in portraying song with aliveness and cheerfulness. It is true that joget, music, and dance portray a hybrid character. Tambor, its name is derived from the Portuguese, is an instrument used during a joget performance. Violins and frame drums are other examples of instruments used during the performance. Other textures such as the gong and pantun, Malay poetry, and the basic techniques are indigenous. Some examples of joget music are joget asam, kana, joget instaluku, and joget songkok mereng. Okay, this is all for joget. For silat was first practiced when it was ruled by the Kingdom Sriwijaya. Most of the silat techniques are derived from the Indian martial arts such as silamban and tight slapping. It also has a Chinese influence such as illustrating warriors with double-edged sword. There are many legendary stories on how the silat was performed, but archaeologically proof that silat is indeed created in Sumatra and flourished after it was spread to Java. Silat was already highly refined during the 15th century. It too has the similarity of martial arts from the Japan like karate. It used senjutsu and bujutsu as a weapon art. After the Dutch colonization, silat was widely spread to the Holland by the Indonesian immigrant. In Netherlands, silat was still remain as one of the most renowned martial arts. Okay, for dikir barat can be defined as a musical form that involves singing in group, almost always without instrumental accompaniment. It was a first debated where it was originated from, either from Malaysia or Thailand, but Malaysia government actively promote it as a part of Malaysian national culture. During a competition, both groups will be on the stage at the same time. There are two segments in a dikir barat performed where the tuk juaga, the person who is responsible to train the group, will take lead during the first round. During the first segment, more complex musical arrangements are performed. The leader of the dikir barat group is known as tukang karut. Tukang karut may be a performer tuk juara. The second session is more to the conclusion part where the tukang karut sings pantun, which is related to their occasion of performance. Legal barat can also be address social issues, legal matters, animal lifestyle, government regulation, and human problems. Tones may be sarcastic or humorous. Okay, so Sophia, how about you? Would you like to share your opinion with us about Chinese dance?
Of course, China's dance has been an integral part of China culture traditions of thousands of years. This performing art dance form involved rhythmic body movement combined with music and costume. Each region and ethnic group has unique dance and tradition. In Malaysia, we have many dance like fence dance move, and lions dance. Fan dance traditionally has been performed by group of filmmen dance. In the dance format, the dance in lavish costume represented glorious design and shape using luggage fan made of colorful side or setting. Well, the Lions Dance is a typical dance you can see in Malaysia, especially during Chinese New Year celebrations. The Lions Dance was at glorious time banned due to Shazlin nationalist sentiments, but is now considered a treasured part of Malaysia's warriors culture and proud heritage. Well, the conclusion that I can tell you guys, in Malaysia we have many different culture, where with this culture make Malaysia a different country for others.
Yes, that is true that multicultural society makes Malaysia different from other countries. No other country has Asians three major races, Malay, Chinese, Indian, plus various other ethnic groups in large numbers. Nowhere is there such exciting diversity of cultures, festival, tradition, and customs offering the right experiences. No other country is truly Asia as Malaysia. So, what your opinion, Nazira?
That's right. We can conclude that the country of Malaysia has always welcomed new cultures and practice. This is why this country is growing fast and inviting new companies and business to grow on its lands. Thus, cultural diversity has in every way helped the Malaysian nation experience growth and prosperity from the very beginning of its conception. I think that's all from us. Thank you.